Hey, fellow agents, this is Agent Smith, and we are finally getting into Act 5, getting some closure and hopefully some ending. And by the look of the bobby pin, it looks like we probably got 2 segments within this to finish up, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and jump into Act 5, where we had left off with our people, with our main man Conway actually becoming one of the weird skeleton men, and Shannon taking over his job, essentially. So, we also had a little segment at a TV studio that kind of did some weird stuff, but either way, Act 5, Scene 1. A town. Or a town. It's a listing for Atlanta. We've been in a weird darkness this whole time. I think this is the first time daylight's come back up. Was that all in one evening? All the madness that we've been through? Yep. Horses drowned after flooding. Give me a minute, just a minute. How did all this fit in that truck? It's bigger on the inside, sort of like the TARDIS. I think it rained. Rained a lot, I mean. The worms are gonna be out for sure. Planning a fishing trip? Maybe tomorrow. No, that's a waste of good worms. I don't want to haul this stuff any further until we know exactly where we're going. I think I see some houses over there. And it looks like he's going to go ahead in that statement either way. Okay, holler if you find anything. Stuck with her mainly for the fact that am I a firefly? Seems it. Junebug and Johnny strain to hear the noises coming from the well. There's that weird sleeping singing again. It's kind of reverent. A choir, maybe. Johnny shades his eyes with his hand. My eyes aren't adjusting to this light. Should we head back underground? No, let's see this through. Could be fun. And zoom, 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 zoom. Ah, alert meow. I guess I'm a fire or a dragonfly now on this, just going around. Oh, this looks like the TV station from last night, huh? Elmo gave Rita a tour of the cameras and wiring. She'd just been through a certificate program on public broadcasting at the community college, so no surprise there. Nikki showed her the video databank, and James demonstrated the Sandin image processor. And then Ron came barreling in with an urgent expression. Check out public broadcasting. Rita had entered the public broadcasting program at Fish Trap Lake University in the technical college with a vague desire to be a newscaster. One of her instructors got her excited about pirate television, and she followed threads through TV and activist communities until she found herself here. Somehow, volunteering at WEVP TV. Pirate television? It wasn't quite the radical guerrilla television crew she dreamed of joining. This group seemed more interested in sharing the town's home movies than culture jamming and interfering with corporate stations, but she liked that focus on local concerns. Ron's news was clearly bad news. Rita's heart sank a little as they listened. She knew things were unraveling. Knew from experience what that looks like. Wouldn't it be nice to arrive at the beginning of something for once? But as she listened to Ron detail the power company's sudden withdrawal from town affairs, she heard other possibilities. She studied their faces and found concern, for sure, but also something like relief, hope, and awakening of play. Nikki looked like she might have been daydreaming. These were people, Rita decided, ready to step out of the company's shadow and build something of their own. Ron said the TV station would still be funded by court order. Would that be their anchor? Are they like ghosts over there, though? So far in the distance, or is that just like a background image of something? And also, am I the Firefly? Okay, I'm the thing again. Slow-mo Krog is a warm coup. 6 or 7 men stood in the sun about a dozen yards from the ditch, and he could hear them. Laughing. He tried not to hear them. Instead, he listened to the shovel punching through the dirt as he shaped the trench. It was wet dirt, mud, really. It made a hungry sound as he shaped the trench wall. Glare from the noon sun made his sinuses tingle. The trench was a foot wide now. By the time he was done, he expected it to be about twice that, and run most of the way through from the middle of town over to where it could drain off into the creek. The laughter quieted into greedy chuckles, and he could feel the men approaching. They're just laughing at him digging in the water. And it's kind of fucked up. Don't seem like he's doing anybody any bad. I don't know why I'm making noises for this thing. Just panning around to see if there's anything of interest. What kind of fish are those? They're goldfish. They eat algae and mosquito eggs. Very helpful. Sounds like a good job. Yes, it does. My job today is to write this poem. Because I'm not sure which person I am on this anymore. This is the voice I'm going with. Is it happy or sad? I'd like to be hopeful somehow that it just keeps coming up sad. But it just keeps coming up sad, even though I try not to. Zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, 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 zoom. Like, parrot shop down there? Just a bunch of birds. That cat's gonna lose his mind in there. Jorge, or George, whichever you prefer, scanned the shelf. He quickly found the book he was looking for. There were only a few dozen left, more shelves than books now, the result of an experiment called the New Selection. Privately, he called it the Purge. But only privately, in small groups of reliable complainers. The unspoken rule was to hold back criticism as long as possible. Experiments needed time to unfold naturally, without the interference of doubt. Jorge would have preferred to complain more freely. Criticism? Even the scheduled feedback circle sessions had been losing their teeth lately. He thought, a trend that coincided with Fraser's increasingly central role in the community. Fraser proposed and executed experiments just like any other community member, but his experiments had a scorched earth quality. They were all destructive. He moved from one area of the community life to the next in search of excess to cut back. Lately, he turned his scythe to the library. The New Selection meant decimating their store of books according to Fraser's own inscrutable criteria. Now, we are guaranteed something vital every time we take a book from the shelves. No more time lost to printed chaff. Fraser's colorless voice echoed in Jorge's mind. He felt like spitting. Period. Instead, he tucked the book under his arm and set off for the woods. Interesting. I'm gonna track some more cats. That was a greeting meow. Oh, hi, kitty. Oops, I guess I went to that group. Wow. How did you get out of there? I slipped into a stream and held my breath as it carried me deep underground. Then what happened? Then I found a library of television. There were televisions everywhere? As soon as you walked in the door, every channel was playing at once? Oh, excuse me. There were televisions everywhere. As soon as you walked through the door, every channel was playing at once. I had one eyeball pointed at a cooking show and the other at a crime show. If I had stayed any longer, I would have split into 1,000 different people. Wow, I'm glad you got out of there. Yeah, but now I kind of miss it. I was traveling with some strange companions for a while too, but now not as strange as yours. A white rabbit followed me for a while. He had a collar with a name tag, like a cat or dog, but it was written in a language I'd never seen before. I spent most of the night in the company of a bus driver. Her name was Marge. Large Marge. And she had a lot of good disco tapes, too. I hung out with an old dog and some musicians. Then we both, wow, I'm jealous, but I won't let it ruin our friendship. Well, maybe I'll see you at the museum sometime. I bet you'll see me sooner than that. Buzz, buzz, buzz. That's a dead horse. Where is everybody? Buzz, buzz, buzz. Buzzy, buzz. Buzz, buzz. This one. So not too sad. No, I think it should be happy. Right. It's a remembrance. Right. Think it'll rain anymore? Nah. I don't see any clouds. Hell, it'll probably... Wanda snores softly. Will they still fly? Oh, yes. Just got banged up a little in the storm. I think that's it, honestly. Wow. That shouldn't have happened. We should have prepared better. All of us. There we go. Another one to talk to. Go, kitty. And now you'll return to Chicago? Oh no, I'm headed on to Ohio next. They have a few great burial mounds I want to revisit. There are a few burial mounds out there by Daytona I always love to see. Really special. Why did they build this huge dirt spiral? Most of these ancient earthworks are thought to be burial mounds, but this one definitely isn't. To be honest, I don't know what it's for. Cool, are we done? I don't know who else to go through to talk on this. There ain't nobody here. Can I go up that road and see what's that way? It's like a building over here. Yeah, see, people are here now. Zoom. Well, the mailbox says 5 Dogwood Drive. Is there a doormat? Sometimes a key is under a doormat. What am I saying? Strange to say, but I feel like I've been here before. Anyone else? Emily. I don't know, little girl. Oh, is this your place? Weird time for new construction, but what do I know? This house is new? Sometime last night, I think. I've never noticed it before. Thank you. Move forward. I didn't like being this firefly, or this dragonfly flying around in circles trying to figure out what's going to be going on here. Hold a sermon. Yeah, this building looks like it was just built. It feels warmer in here somehow, right? Warmer and brighter. No, that's not the right one. I was thinking of somebody else. Nobody lives here. Well, somebody ordered some furniture. It's actually quite spacious. Yeah, you could fly a plane in here. The light in here is pretty great, actually. Yes, a good space to read a book. What would you read? This is so much history. There is so much history here. Maybe some books from the old town library could be salvaged. I could set up a new workshop here. I could fix TVs again, or whatever people need. Hell, I could fix toasters. One could really fit a lot of books in here. Kind of feels like on stage right now. Actually, now, know what I mean, ma'am? Yeah, but who's the audience? Everybody's leaving. You think more people will come after these people leave? People will come. There's something about this place. We saved what we could. Hey, cat. I'll race you. Wait, I'm on the cat now. From here to that pile of mail, okay? Yep, see ya. Oh, he's gone. Zoom. Zoom. Clyde lay on his back on the runway, hands folded behind his head halfway between dreams and the afternoon sun. He entertained the momentary delusion that he'd survived a plane crash and was vaguely unhappy when the dream faded. Coming into land, he'd slammed into a truck. The driver probably thought the runway was another road. The runway smelled like oil, years of leaky light aircrafts taking off and landing. All the state said that they wanted was to knock down some trees, many trees, and build a road tying this small town to the larger web of streets and highways that entomb the rest of the country. It would bring in new goods, new people, maybe even some cash from tourism. Many of the residents supported the idea, but Clyde and his inner circle of stunt pilots turned mail carriers knew that a road would be the end of their secluded paradise. I like the narrative ones. Let me narrate. They dragging that horse out of the water. Tiny bit at a time they are. No, miss. They don't scare me at all. If you met them, You'd feel the same way, I'm sure. I don't believe old Jorge would ever hurt us. He's kind of a bit of a bookworm, as far as I can tell. I leave the radio on for him at night. He seems to like the AM call-in shows, but just out of tune. So where to next, miss?
I should go home to Lithuania. My uncle is very dying. I should be there to see him through it.
No. Oh, sure. There's always so much to do at home. That seems to be the one place we're always needed. Yeah, you're making the right move. There's nothing here anymore for the living. Oh, so many stories. So many conversations.
So how did you all get food out here?
Slow-mo crow. Gentle cooing.
That's what I figured.
A few chitters.
Why?
A detailed series of chitters.
I guess we could, but it sounds like a lot of work. You're right. I'll think about it.
Sure.
Buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz. Buzzy, buzz. Buzz, buzzy, 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 buzz.
Rotate in a circle and see if things change as we go.
Nice little setup you got.
Yeah, it's alright. Many afternoons have come and gone right here, listening to the radio, taking a break from some maintenance work. What kind of bike do you got?
It's a custom job. The Sloth on Wheels.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen those. Nice and light. Not light enough to fly, of course.
I guess you don't have to have much use for a bike in a town with no roads.
There was one thing Cass always insisted on about this place. No roads leading in or out. Hell, we can always fly. It feels like closure is slowly happening here, as we just kind of get pieces of stories and all the people connected to one another. What is this? But I can't quite tell. We're definitely moving all the stuff in, piece by piece. And if I pass by certain people that don't have a storyline, then it goes and gives me like little conversation pieces here and there. But the narratives are big. Rita tore up weeds. Elmo stood next to her with a bucket. She passed him the uprooted weeds, and he stuffed them in a bucket. They worked this way for a few hours. Dark clouds drifted slowly closer, but wouldn't arrive until evening. Rita and Elmo left to get some tea. The bucket of weeds sat warming in the sun, and the dandelions wilted and the clovers dried. Some wayward insects continued to eat. When Rita and Elmo returned, they assumed the same roles and continued working. The garden was coming along as well as they could hope, given months of neglect. When the plant shut down, the company abruptly pulled out of the area and took a large part of the town's population with it. This included the Carver family, who had tended this garden, the largest and most productive in town, for years. Now the garden would be cared for by a new family and feed what was left of the town and whatever it became next. They didn't know much about gardening, but they were prepared to learn on the job. They knew for sure they would plant tomatoes. Those had grown well from this garden in the past. Rita and Elmo worked until it started to rain. The rain washed their sweat into dirt. Or even into the dirt. It's not raining, it's perfectly clear out. There we go. Back around. Try to keep all the conversations I had again. Got to go through every one of them once more. But I think I got it all right, except for maybe one slightly altered. Either way, we'll continue on searching. So many birds in that run space there. Trying to find more people to interact with for this situation, but it doesn't seem too much. Some of these things change here and there a little bit, but it doesn't mean much. The horse is being dragged from a different angle now. I don't know if that means anything. As I make circles, stuff just updates. Depending on what the segment is. There we go. I was like, there's got to be another point of interest here somewhere. Found one. She watched him. She stood in her own shadow. A few deer hunters and talkers walked past, but said nothing to the seer. Didn't even look. She studied the path. This was the path the seer had found in her scrying game. A series of private dice rolls and inscrutable diagrams. The community trusted this game and had led them to fish-filled streams, intimate knowledge of the elements and the stars. Even here, to the C-Note settlement. They trusted it without understanding it, and now the game had revealed to the seer this vital route, which would lead them to safety before the next floods come, or came even. At the end of the route, she'd seen a safe, quiet place, caverns of leathery black birds, a lake of eyeless fish, a tower of flame. Now the diver walked the mounds and memorized the route he has almost already. Interesting. Echo Kitty. So now I'm going to take another circuit to see if anything changed again. If it did, we'll see those stories. So many horses. They're heavier than they look. Ooh, it's starting to get dark. Or something. I love how so many of these places are just cabins. Zoom. Where else can I possibly go? Traveling out back, checking everything out. Oh, there we go. Conversation at this table. That was what I was looking for. Some kind of conversation to move forward. Did you know that how long you have to be asleep before you can start dreaming? Sometimes I think I'm dreaming even when I'm awake. Entirely possible. Even if you never go to sleep, you'll start dreaming on your feet. The people who built this library were always experimenting. They took nothing for granted, even sleep. They called themselves the people of nothing, fearless experimenters. Whenever I make a decision, I never know what's going to happen next. Whenever I make a decision, I never know what's going to happen next. Is that an experiment? Sure. Experimenting is as abandoning expectation. Yeah, this is a special place. I feel a little guilty.
Maybe some new community will grow up out of the rubble, and it's because it's happened before. I hope they have an easier time. Junebug and Johnny walk up. Oh, hi. Hey, aren't you? Yes, ma'am. We were talking about the library. We were talking about experiments. Friends of yours? We hung out last night, but I guess I have to go back now. Yep, we traveled together. Stick with that one. Ron dug a grave. Or conversation. Actually, before I make a decision on this one, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. Only because I don't know how much longer these will run, and also, just in general, it seems like a good stopping point for this. So, I hope you guys have been enjoying, and if you have, then I will see you as we continue within Act 5. We're still only in the first scene, and it may be the only scene within the act, but apparently there's some level of closure to be found with this one. So, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, then I will see you all in the next episode of Kentucky Route Zero. Have a great day.
Oh, hey. I see that you guys are done with this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, you can see another one over here on the right hand side. And of course, we've also got one on the left as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.